Hello students, welcome to all. I am Dr. Vigneshwar Mekha, lecturer in geography. Today we shall discuss about continental drift theory. In this chapter, you are going to learn the following points. 1. Introduction. 2. Continental drift theory. 3. Forces behind the continental drifting. 4. Evidences of continental drifting. 5. Evolving theory. 6. Criticism on continental drift theory. 7. Drawbacks of continental drift theory. Firstly, we will look into introduction. The movement of continents relative to each other across the Earth's surface is known as continental drift. During Second World War, many scientists was discovered that the ocean floor was not a flat surface but had some unique relief features such as ridges, trenches, sea mountains and shoals, etc. The most important discoveries were ridges and trenches, which gave insight into natural boundaries between various lithospheric plates or tectonic plates. These important discoveries led to the theory of plate tectonics. The plate tectonics is large scale movement of lithospheric plates due to forces emanating from the Earth's interior. Prior to the theory of plate tectonics, there were other theories like continental drift theory and seafloor spreading, which tried to explain the large scale movements on the Earth's surface. In this situation, we will discuss about the continental drift theory. The learning objectives. After studying this module, we are able to understand the continental drift theory, to analyze the evidences of continental drift theory, to understand the merits and drawbacks of the continental drift. Now, continental drift theory. Alfred Wegener, the famous meteorologist, popular explorer, astronomer and physicist, is said to be the real inventor of the idea of continental drift. Even though his idea of the drift of continents through seama was mooted in the year of 1912, but no attention was paid to it. A similar suggestion was made by F.B. Taylor, an American geologist, in 1910. Earlier, it was Abraham Ortelius, a Dutch map maker, who first proposed such a possibility of continental drift as early as 1596. Another map maker, Antonio Pellegrini, drew a map showing the three continents together. The theory, introduced in two articles published by a 32-year-old German man and earned a PhD in the astronomy from the University of Berlin in 1904. He was also fascinated with the developing fields of meteorology and climatology. The continental drift theory came into light in 1922 when he elaborated the concept in his first published book entitled Die Entstehung der Kontinente und Ozeane. It was revised and translated into English in 1924 as The Origin of Continents and Oceans, and expanded editions were published in 1928 and 1929. According to Wegener's continental drift theory, there exists one supercontinent until the last Paleozoic era, which he called as Pangaea, which was covered on all sides by an extensive water mass or mega ocean called as Panthalassa, or the primordial Pacific Ocean. He assumed that in the Carboniferous period, the South Pole was near Natal, that is South Africa, and the North Pole was in the Pacific Ocean. In this theory, Wegener was convinced about the polar wandering. In other words, there was a considerable shift in the position of the geographical poles. The Pangaea started broken up in the Carboniferous period, that is about 300 million years ago. As a result, the Panthalassa water penetrated into the gap formed the Tethys Sea. This means that the Tethys Sea divided the Pangaea into two huge land masses. One is Laurentia, or also known as Laurasia, to the north, and second is Gondwana land to the south of the Tethys. The southern part, the Gondwana land, consisted of Antarctica, Australia, Peninsular India, Africa and South America. The northern part of Pangaea comprised of North America, Greenland, Europe, north of the Indian subcontinent and the remaining part of Asia, and which was known as Laurasia. Wegener advocated this theory as he noticed that all the continents could be clubbed together like the pieces of a zigzag puzzle to form a single landmass or supercontinent or Pangaea. Landmass further drifted into segments, forming the 7 continents in the world over a period of time. It was Alfred Wegener who first supported the theory of continental drift. South America and Africa fit together like a zigzag puzzle in outlines as well as rock type and geological structure. Now we move to the forces behind the continental drifting. According to Wegener, the drift was in two directions. Equatorwards, due to the interaction of forces of gravity, pole fleeing forces, due to centrifugal force caused by Earth's rotation, and buoyancy, that is ship floats in water due to buoyant force outward by water, and second movement westwards due to the tidal currents because of the Earth's motion, that is Earth rotates from west to east, so tidal currents act from east to west according to Wegener. Wegener suggested that tidal force, that is gravitational pull of the moon and to a lesser extent the sun, also played a major role. The polar fleeing force relates to the rotation of the Earth. Earth is not a perfect sphere. It has a bulge at the equator called as the geoid. This bulge is due to the rotation of the Earth, the greater centrifugal force at the equator. Centrifugal force increases as we move from poles towards the equator. This increase in centrifugal force has led to pole fleeing according to Wegener. Tidal force is due to the attraction of the moon and the sun that develops tides in oceanic waters, that is tides explained in detail in oceanography chapter in this first year. According to Wegener, these forces would become effective when applied over many million years and drift is continued. The present distribution of the continents was regarded as a result of fragmentation by drifting followed by a drifting apart of the individual land masses. The drift started around 200 million years ago, that is Mesozoic era, Triassic period, late Triassic epoch, and continents began to break up and drift away from one another during Carboniferous period. Since then the pieces had moved to their present positions and are still moving apart. It was pursued that the African and European land blocks moved together under the influence of gravitational force, while North and South America drifted westward in response to the tidal force of the sun and the moon. As North and South America moved towards the west against the resistance of the Pacific floor, their front edge would be crumpled up into great mountain ranges such as rocks in the North America and Andes in South America. The westward movement of land masses also caused the separation of the Americas from Europe and Africa, thereby causing the formation of the Atlantic Ocean. Between these two continental land masses, certain odds of this Seoul logged and formed the islands of the West Indies. Wegener also attempted to explain the formation of the fold mountains with the help of the drift theory. On the account of the movement of Gondwana land towards the equator, the Alps and the Himalayas were formed in the Tertiary period in the region occupied by the Tethys Sea. The supposed effects of the westerly drift of Asia resulted in the formation of gapping fissures on the Pacific floor. The island festoons are supposed to have been strips of shear that remained attached to the mainland at their ends. Wegener assumed that the description of the Gondwana land took place mostly during the Mesozoic era, while the westward drift of the North America occurred during the Tertiary period. However, the flight from the two poles and westerly drift by the tidal force have been disproved by the scientists as completely impossible. While Wegener was alive, scientists did not believe that the continents could move. Although Wegener's continental drift theory was discarded, it did introduce the idea of moving continents to geosciences. And decades later, scientists would confirm some of Wegener's ideas, such as the past existence of supercontinent joining all the world land masses as one. Pangaea was a supercontinent that formed roughly 200 to 250 million ago according to the US Geological Survey, and responsible for the fossil and rock clues that led Wegener to this theory. Now, evidences of continental drift. Alfred Wegener cited various evidence in support of his theory of supercontinent, that is Pangaea, which gradually separated into northern and southern land masses before finally splitting into continents of the present day. A map of the continents inspired Wegener's quest to explain Earth's geological history. Trained as a meteorologist, he was intrigued by the interlocking fit of Africa's and South America shorelines. Wegener then assembled an impressive amount of evidence to show that Earth's continents were once connected in a single supercontinent. Now, apparent affinity of physical features. Outlines of the coast of the Atlantic Ocean can easily be joined together. The bulge of Brazil, that is South America, seems to fit into the Gulf of Guinea. Wegener called it as a zigzag fit of the opposite coast. Greenland seems to fit in well with Ellesmere and Baffin Islands of Canada, the west coast of India. Madagascar and Africa seem to have been joined. North and South America on one side and Africa and Europe on the other fit along the mid-Atlantic ridge. The Caledonian and Ursinian mountains of Europe and the Appalachians of USA seem to be one continent, continuous series. The next evidence is paleontological evidences. Similar fossils are found on the continents on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. Wegener knew that fossil plants and animals such as Mesosaurus, a freshwater reptile found only in South America, South Africa, India, Australia and Antarctica during the Permian period, could be found on many continents. For example, the fossils of the sea fern Glossopteris were two heavy to be carried too far by wind. The reptile Mesosaurus could only swim in fresh water. It was a swimming reptile but could only swim in fresh water. Cyanogenthus and Lystrosaurus were land reptiles and were unable to swim. Grooves and rock deposits left by ancient glaciers are found today on different continents very close to equator. This would indicate that the glacier either formed in the middle of the ocean and or covered most of the earth. The figure shows you the paleontological evidences of continental drift. The next is placer deposits. Rich placer deposits of gold are found on the Ghana coast, but the source are in Brazil, and it is obvious that the gold deposits of Ghana are derived from the Brazil plateau when the two continents lay side by side. The next evidence is tillite deposits. There are sedimentary rocks formed out of deposits of glaciers. The Gondwana system of sediments are found in India, Africa, Falkland Island, Madagascar, Antarctica and Australia. Overall resemblance demonstrates that these land masses had remarkably similar histories. The fifth evidence is polar wandering. It means shifting of poles. The position of the poles constantly drifted, that is due to the plate tectonics. The sixth evidence is evidences from the glaciation. During the later part of the Paleozoic era, that is about 300 million years ago, glaciers covered large portion of the continents in the southern hemisphere. The deposits left by these ancient glaciers can easily be recognized. Except of Antarctica, all the continents in the southern hemisphere show no trace of glaciation during this time. The seventh evidence is geological evidence. For one, identical rocks of the same type and age are found on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. Wegener said that the rocks had formed side by side and that the land had since moved apart. Mountain ranges with same rock types, structures, ages are now on opposite sides of the Atlantic Ocean. The Appalachians of the eastern United States and Canada, for example, are just like mountain ranges in eastern Greenland, Ireland, Great Britain and Norway. Wegener concluded that they formed as a single mountain range that was separated as the continents drifted. Ancient fossils of the same species of extinct plants and animals are found in rocks of the same age but are on continents that are now widely separated. And now we move to evolving theories. When Wegener proposed continental drift, many geologists were contractionists. They thought Earth's incredible mountains were created because our planet was cooling and shrinking since its formation. Frankel said, and to account for the identical fossils discovered on continents such as South America and Africa, scientists invoked ancient land bridges now vanished beneath the sea. The important evolving theories. 1. Polar wandering. This polar wandering theory very similar to the continental drift theory. Polar wandering is the relative movement of the Earth's crust and upper mantle with respect to the rotational places of the poles of the Earth. The second is the continental drift theory. Continental drift refers to the movement of the continents related to each other. The third is convectional current theory. The convectional current theory forms the basis of seafloor spreading theory and plate tectonics. Fourth is seafloor spreading theory. Seafloor spreading describes the movement of oceanic plates related to one another. The fifth is plate tectonics. Plate tectonics is simply the movement of crustal plates related to each other. Now, we will discuss about the criticism on continental drift theory. There are a few criticisms associated with the continental drift theory. Some scientists believe that the age of the earth is lesser than that is estimated. Secondly, the fossils records are also not believed to be old enough as claimed by a few. The carbon dating theory is also not widely accepted. Until 1950, this theory was not accepted. Later in the year 1960, a group of geologists began considering the theory as the possibilities of its existence increased. There were several other factors that led to the acceptance of this theory, like the fossil records. A glance into the fossil records of these continents revealed the existence of same species in their outskirts. There was also a close similarity between the mineral specimens of the break lines. Certain continents had identical species too. Today's model of plate tectonics derived its origin from the theory of continental drift theory. The model of plate tectonics speaks of the expansion of the ocean floors. This resulted in the movement of the plates that held the continents on their surface. The movement of the plates resulted in disruptions in the continents. This suggested that several points of the continents were subjected to the smaller movements. For instance, Point Reyes, located on the North California's San Andreas fault line, is proved to be moving towards the north slowly. The rate of the movement is estimated to be of an inch every year. Today, continental drift theory is accepted and taught in many schools across the globe. Before the construction theory, many thought that the world's formations were caused by a worldwide flood. This theory is called catastrophism according to the USGS. Many geologists, secondly, denounced Wegener's theory of continental drift after he published the details. Part of the opposition was became Wegener did not have a good model to explain how the continents moved apart. Although Wegener's evidence was sound, most geologists at the time rejected the hypothesis of continental drift. Scientists argued that there was no way to explain how solid continents could flow through solid oceanic crust. Wegener's idea was nearly forgotten until the technological advances presented even more evidence that the continents moved and gave scientists the tools to develop a mechanism for Wegener's drifting continents. And now, drawbacks of the continental drift. There were many drawbacks for the theory of the continental drift which was proposed by Wegener. They are: 1. Alfred Wegener failed to explain why the drift began only in Mesozoic era and not before. The second, the continental drift theory does not take oceans into consideration. The third, Alfred Wegener mentioned many proofs, but the proofs were heavily dependent on assumptions and are very general in nature. The fourth, forces like buoyancy, tidal currents and gravity are too weak to be able to move continents. And 5, modern theories accept the existence of Pangaea and related landmasses but give a very different explanation to the causes of drift. Dear students, in the next class we will meet with the another chapter. Thank you, one and all.